Official reports often tell a neat, tidy story, one designed to calm the public and close the book on uncomfortable events. Take the case of the Baker family estate in Dulve, Louisiana. According to a statement released in mid-2017, a tragic natural gas leak led to an explosion claiming the lives of the entire Baker family and a systems engineer named Ethan Winters, who was reportedly in the area on unrelated business. It's a simple, plausible explanation for a local tragedy. But like many official stories, it omits the inconvenient, terrifying truths that lie just beneath the surface. The files we've gained access to paint a very different picture, one of biological horror and corporate malfeasance. The man at the center of this story, Ethan Winters, was, by all accounts, an ordinary person. He was a systems engineer from Los Angeles, not a soldier or a government agent. He had no special training. In 2014, his wife, Mia, a marine biologist, went missing and was presumed dead. For 3 years, Ethan grieved. Then, in 2017, a cryptic email arrived, seemingly from Mia, beckoning him to the derelict Baker plantation. Driven by a desperate hope, he went looking for his wife. What he found there was not a simple reunion, but a nightmare that would rewrite his own biology and set him on a collision course with a century-old conspiracy. The official narrative states Ethan Winters died in that supposed gas leak. But classified documents from the Bioterrorism Security Assessment Alliance, or BSAA, tell us he walked out of that nightmare alive, alongside his wife. He wasn't just a survivor, he was a key figure in what is now known as the Baker incident. The BSAA report details a quarantine zone, a biocontaminant, and a grotesque series of events that defy conventional explanation. Ethan Winters didn't just find his wife, he single-handedly dismantled a nest of bioorganic weapons, a fact conveniently erased from public record. The gas leak was a lie, a cover story for something far worse. So what really happened in Dulve? The truth begins not with gas, but with a fungus, a powerful sentient fungal organism known only in clandestine circles as the mold. This organism, originating from an ancient superorganism called the megamycete, doesn't just infect its hosts. It consumes and remakes them. It absorbs their memories and links them into a hive mind, controlled by a central consciousness. The Bakers were not victims of a gas leak. They were victims of the mold, transformed into monstrous puppets by a bioweapon that had found a new home in the Louisiana bayou. Ethan Winters walked into their trap, an ordinary man about to face an extraordinary horror. To understand the events in Louisiana, we must travel back a century and across an ocean to a remote village in Eastern Europe. It was there, around 1919, that a biologist named Miranda lost her daughter Eva to the Spanish flu. In her grief, she stumbled upon a subterranean cave network housing the megamycete. This mold god, as local villagers called it, possessed a unique quality. It could absorb the consciousness of the deceased. Miranda became infected, gaining immortality and shape-shifting abilities. She saw it not as a curse, but as a key. She would use its power to find a perfect vessel to resurrect her beloved Eva, no matter the cost. Miranda's research did not go unnoticed. In the mid-20th century, a young ambitious scientist named Oswell E. Spencer visited her village. He was fascinated by the mold's mutagenic properties, but his vision was different. While Miranda sought to resurrect one person, Spencer dreamed of remaking all of humanity, forcing evolution through virology. Inspired by her work, he would go on to co-found the Umbrella Corporation, taking the symbol from the village caves as his company logo. While Spencer pursued his T-virus, Miranda continued her lonely experiments, creating monstrous but ultimately failed vessels for Eva's consciousness. Their paths diverged, but the root of their work remained the same, the megamycete. Decades later, after Umbrella's spectacular fall, a new player emerged, a shadowy syndicate known as the Connections. Formed by ex-Umbrella researchers, they specialized in creating bespoke bioweapons for the black market. They learned of Miranda's work and struck a deal. They would provide her with funding and advanced resources. In return, she would provide them with a sample of the mold and the genetic material of her deceased daughter, Eva. Their goal was to create a new kind of bioweapon, one that could infiltrate and control populations from within. A silent conqueror. This unholy alliance gave birth to the E-Series project. The result of this project was Eveline, or E001. She was a bioorganic weapon in the form of a 10-year-old girl, designed for easy infiltration. Eveline could produce and control the mold, infecting hosts and adopting them into her psychic family. However, she was unstable, prone to rapid aging and obsessed with having a family of her own, a psychological flaw twisted into a tactical asset. In 2014, she was being transported aboard a tanker ship, and the Annabelle, under the care of two handlers, Alan Droney and Ethan Winter's wife, Mia. A hurricane, a containment breach, and a shipwreck later, Eveline washed ashore in Dulvey, Louisiana, where she was found by an unsuspecting Jack Baker. When Ethan Winters arrived at the Baker estate in 2017, he was walking into a fully established hive. For 3 years, Eveline had controlled the Baker family, using them to capture victims to add to her twisted family. Ethan's search for Mia ended almost as soon as it began. Within hours of his arrival, he was captured and brutally attacked by Jack Baker. Medical logs leaked from a BSAA server are explicit. Ethan Winters died that night. His heart stopped. He sustained injuries that no human could survive. But he didn't stay dead. The mold, which had infected him during the struggle, went to work. Unbeknownst to anyone, including himself, Ethan Winters possessed a rare, perhaps unique, genetic compatibility with the mold. For other victims, like the Bakers, infection led to grotesque physical mutations and a complete loss of self, their minds subjugated by Eveline's will. But for Ethan, the process was different. The mold reconstituted his body, cell by cell, repairing the fatal damage. He woke up, still himself, still human in every way that mattered. He was now, in essence, a walking sentient colony of the mold. Granted an astonishing regenerative ability, he was a new kind of being, a perfect fusion of man and fungus, and he had no idea. Throughout his horrifying ordeal at the estate, the evidence of his new nature was undeniable, yet incomprehensible. A severed hand was crudely stapled back on and became functional. A leg was sliced off and reattached. He survived being impaled, beaten, and shot, getting back up each time. He experienced psychic projections from Eveline, a clear sign the mold had reached his brain, yet he never succumbed to her mind control. BSAA analysts theorized this was due to the short infection time and his innate resistance. He was a subject unlike any other, an anomaly that defied every known rule of the E-type contaminant. He was, for all intents and purposes, a new man. This unique status is what allowed him to fight back. While the Bakers were puppets, Ethan retained his will. He was driven by a single powerful purpose: save Mia. He synthesized a cure, fought his way through the mutated family members, and confronted Eveline herself. He was the only person who could. As a mold-based life form, he could resist her psychic attacks and withstand the biohazardous environment she created. An ordinary systems engineer, through death and rebirth, had become the perfect weapon against the very thing that made him. He was the man who could not be controlled, the ultimate flaw in the Connection's design. After the horrors in Louisiana, the BSAA intervened. They extracted Ethan and Mia, administered an amnestic to Mia to help her cope with the trauma, and initiated a cover-up. The official story was the gas leak. The unofficial truth was that Ethan and Mia Winters were placed under protection and relocated to a quiet corner of Eastern Europe. They had a daughter, Rosemary. For a few years, it seemed Ethan's nightmare was over. He had his family, but they had been relocated to the worst possible place. the very region controlled by Miranda, the architect of the mold. Miranda had spent a century searching for the perfect vessel to resurrect her daughter, Eva. The monsters she created in her village were all failures. Then she learned of Rosemary Winters. Rose was the child of two mold-infected parents, one of whom was the unique anomaly, Ethan. This made Rose a perfect mold-human hybrid, a being superior even to Eveline. She was the ideal vessel Miranda had been seeking for 100 years. Miranda, using her shape-shifting abilities to impersonate Mia, infiltrated their home, killed Ethan, and abducted baby Rose. But once again, death was not the end for Ethan Winters. His mold-based body, though grievously wounded with his heart literally ripped from his chest, reanimated one last time. His regenerative abilities were failing. His body was calcifying and breaking down, but his will was absolute, i.e., he would save his daughter. What followed was a desperate, brutal rampage through Miranda's village, a hellscape of lichens and other bioorganic weapons born from her experiments. It was during this final trial that Ethan was finally told the truth about himself by the enigmatic Duke, that he had died in Louisiana 3 years prior, that he was nothing more than mold. This devastating revelation didn't break him, it focused him. He wasn't just a man anymore, he was a father, and nothing else mattered. In the end, Ethan confronted Miranda at the heart of the Megamycete. He rescued Rose and, in a final cataclysmic battle, defeated the ancient scientist, but his body had reached its limit. Knowing the Megamycete had to be destroyed, and that he himself was a walking biohazard, Ethan made the ultimate sacrifice. He entrusted his daughter to BSAA agent Chris Redfield and stayed behind to detonate a bomb, obliterating the Megamycete, Miranda, and himself in a final heroic act. The official story will never mention his name. But for those who know the truth, Ethan Winters, the ordinary man from LA, will forever be remembered as the hero who outsmarted the mold and gave his life for his daughter.